So, good morning, Tamen.
Good morning, Antonio.
Well, I'm going to share my screen with the last topic.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So when
Yeah, the screen is okay now.
okay, I can't restart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So good morning. Good afternoon. This is the second part of these 4 sessions and this is the final topic that we saw after our break. We will finish the last topic that is called the decision making paralysis. Well, in terms of decisions, it has to do with procrastination. So it's a topic very common in terms of procrastinate. When you put the things off, you put off the things and you need to focus on other things. No? So someone that is procrastination, that use procrastinate is when you postpone things. Postpone things in favor of what? In favor of more enjoyable, comfortable things that you think is better to do that rather than the other one. When someone procrastinates, is focusing on things that they are more enjoyable, they are things that they are more comfortable doing. So this is your procrastinate. We're just saying that procrastination is not it's a bad issue. Well, the bad issues when you need to focus on these tasks, making decisions, sometimes involves an effort, involves integrating good standard of quality and something the strong you need to strive to this aim to get it. So it's something you procrastinate to should you might to stop to decide, and it's not good in terms of making decisions. Procrastinations is not, sometimes people confuse and said that procrastination is the same as being lazy. It's not the same. It's not lazy. Probably the 100%, I wouldn't say that, but in 80% of the people that procrastinate are very, 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 very active. When you say active, are very immersed in different tasks. We wouldn't say that it's lazy persons. We wouldn't say that they postpone to with other activities. So they change their normal activity to other activities that they are more enjoyable, that they are more comfortable. We say that they are comfortable. They are not. They when they do this activity, they are not out of the comfort zone. They feel more inside the comfort zone, so they are happy by doing those activities. However, the activities that involves make decisions involve to be outside the comfort zone. Well, sometimes procrastinators is more likely to be unmotivated or overwhelmed. So this is these situations that the paralysis affects as to be, or this is the sensations when you're doing something feel overwhelming or unmotivated. And what's the problem in terms of procrastinators? If you feel that you procrastinate, then I would like to show you a test to see you yourself if you feel that you are procrastinated or not. It's not very complicated. This is the second task for today's procrastination. So we said before that procrastinators are work very many hours in a day. Perhaps more than other people do. They invest more time in working. However, the point is that they're working in activities that we might say wrong task. So the time that you invest is in wrong task activity. And you need to clarify it is that it happens, it occurs because they can distinguish very well what is an urgent activity and what is the important activity. Between there are not gaps, differences between importance and urgency. They can distinguish both of them. And this is, it involves a very, very important problem. And the problem appears because when you distinguish, you can't distinguish what is urgency and what is importance. Every part of it, every action has the same importance, but they are. You can distinguish, for instance, what is very urgent and what is very important. Because by distinguish what is urgent and very important, you need is called critical activities. And critical activities is the most important thing that you need to take into account. When your activity, when a task is very urgent and very important, you are in critical activities. Sometimes you need to have time in your schedule to carry out with these critical activities. And also, in terms of important goals, sometimes things that they are important goals, that they are not urgent but very important. Perhaps in future, this activity change to critical activities. So this is very, very important. Also, this is also very important to focus on important goals to avoid it that these activities gets transformed into critical activities in future. When someone is not very urgent, however, it's very important, you need to focus on this task in order to not let them to transform in critical activity. Critical activities is when the alarm rings, like when you are in a submarine and you set the alarm rings because the submarine is going down. So we will be the same when it comes to critical, very urgent, very important. Is sometimes you get this activity, you achieve it because something you didn't eat very well in the past. So keep in mind it. Then for a procrastinator, it doesn't matter is the activity is low, is not urgent, and it's not very important as well. For instance, answering emails with very, very, or answering emails in the morning, or when you will be focused to focus on important or critical activities, or they can manage with interruptions. For them, interruptions they are welcome because they have a good another way to postpone things. You say, I have a lot of interruption, I have no time to do, but important goods are not doing well, and neither important goal nor critical activities. So you need to think about it. Well, so you recognize yourself as a person that procrastinate, or ask yourself questions about I won't be able to get it done, so why bother? I have missed the deadline, so what's the point on even trying? I won't do it well, so why bother? I'm not in the mood right now, maybe tomorrow. I will do it tomorrow when I got this little things out of work. There are so many things to do, I don't have a clue where to start. So these statements are very, very connected with the idea of being a procrastinator. No? When someone they say many things to do, or I'll do it tomorrow, I'm not in them. Maybe tomorrow I won't do it well, so why bother? Or I won't be able to get it done, so why bother? So this is more procrastination, and it is linked to move forward to the next test. And the next test is in the exercise 2. You see the exercise, the exercise 2 is the other activity that you have to do today. It's very simple. It's not for the last session. You are very obligated to do a lot of tasks that are very simple. Perhaps the first one involves time, but the second exercises is not involved, enables you to take this activity in a very short period of time. No? It's about a test. It's about a test, about procrastinations, and it's a test about 5 answers. Almost never, once a while, frequently, all the time, 4 answers, sorry. And you need to score yourself about the different actions, the different statements that you tend to do. So remember that this is a test with 10 questions, and the maximum is 50 questions, 50 scores, 50 points in terms of score. Well, here we might set 1, 2, 3, 4. So we must say that the maximum will be 40. 40 points will be the score, the total score about the test of procrastination. When they won, it improves almost never, once a while, frequently, all the time. Well, this is the questions. I regularly put off starting tasks, projects, and activities I don't enjoy doing. Remember, you say 4. You tend to put off starting tasks, projects, and activities when you feel that you are not very stick to it, or you don't enjoy very well. So you need to score 4. So remember that is to say that you procrastinate a lot. Procrastinate, we said that it's very bad. That the most numbers you have, the worse. Here it's not about, well, to not procrastinate. Okay, so that's the reason to in terms of it, the more numbers you have, well, the more caution you have today in terms of procrastination. Even when I have a specific that, I wait until the last minute to take action. The same all the time. 4. But in this case, the more numbers, the worse. Okay, they say, well, I tend to do that. So 4, or frequently, you need to expect, to wait to the last minute. When I have to make a tough decision, I put it off as long as possible. So I tend to put it off as much as possible. The same, 4 would be the maximum, and almost never could be the minimum. Then, even though I feel bad when I don't get started in a project, this really motivated me to get going. The same and important. This really motivated me to get going. The 4 is a maximum, and the 3rd is a minimum. I'm regularly late for meeting an opponent, so you say yes all the time. You feel late. 4. I find myself needing to ask for time extensions on work due. You need extensions for asking for extensions when it comes to doing a work. So the 4, the maximum, 1, the minimum. I regularly say to myself, I will do it tomorrow. Very important saying. Someone say, well, tomorrow will be another day. So I will do it tomorrow. It would be 4 is the maximum, and almost 1 is the minimum. I have lost business or damaged relationships by putting things off. Or damage a relationship when it comes, what is the consequences? Consequences I have about postponing, putting off, putting the things off. Even when I'm excited about starting a new project, I have trouble initiating it. So the way to start a project, so it involves a lot of effort. So is the point is maximum is 4, and minimum is 1. And finally, I can easily lose my focus and become distracted by trivial matters. When fly comes, you distracted by self. So this is in terms of 4 is the maximum and 1 is the minimum. But as I said before, so the need to accurate it, you need to do the test. It's something personal, so it depends on you. It's not about to have the best questions. It didn't show us a unique question. It's something about your personality. So I try to be yourself. Could be good if you don't feel fear to see that. It's not my point to say, well, to you procrastinate or not procrastinate. However you procrastinate, you need to take action. It's something to improve you, to get feedback of it, and nothing else. And there is another exercise that's planning to take action. Planning. But then I will explain these last exercises, and then I will continue by explaining the second exercises. For in terms of the presentations, in terms of these presentation, the PowerPoint presentations, that you see these tests, I said before, it will be the same as the exercise 2 that you need to take in terms of the practical assignment for the 2nd day of March. Well, what is the best signals in terms of it? Well, if you do the test, this is the first issue, and score yourself. You have less than 15 approximately, so between 10 and congratulations, you are not procrastinated or problem procrastination, because you are 10 to 15. So this is very good for it. From 16 to 25, you are not procrastinated, but have some signals that show you that you tend to be procrastinating future, or more or less you are there's a tendency to procrastinate. Well, some advices: you could benefit from using a priority system, for instance, the task that explain it, or you try to resist it, no crisis and time sensitivity. And finally, is between 26 and 32, 2 questions to the result, you procrastinate a lot. Procrastination is having impact on your work life and career. It's try breaking is a big negative impact. Sometimes you feel that you feel overwhelmed. Sometimes is I try to this will try well some issues. Recommendable issues is, for instance, breaking your projects in smaller tasks, for instance, in order to take action more quickly, honestly, but this is something that I will explain later. So, as I said before, the second part of this exercise practical assignment is to establish, to fill the gaps of these 10 questions. Remember that the 4 is the maximum and the minimum is 1. When you just defining the negative impact, everything is very valid. You get a number of 14. However, is 0. For instance, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. You send at least 10. Well, people might say, well, it could be 0. Better say, well, 0. Well, here perhaps they take into account that nothing is. No one is perfect. No? Sometimes there are late, there are circumstances that our body asks you to postpone things. So this is the rule. Some activities, perhaps when the spring comes, battery is very low. When the winter comes, sometimes battery 10 depends on that. So there are different parts of the time that it's impossible to postpone things, or there are different circumstances on that. Well, is this clear? So the worst is could be 40. You have a serious case of procrastinations. You need to evaluate yourself. Many here, perhaps in the one of the strategies to cope with procrastination was some, for instance, very common illness. We say technology illness, that is distractors, to handle with distractors and email, messaging, internet, or they focus on constant interruptions. You need to handle it, those issues. Email, for instance, internet, social media, mobile phones, smart mobile phones, whatever. So try to draw a line between this and in terms of technology. It's sure that it's easier said than done, the people did, but you need to take action with procrastination. Well, dealing with procrastinations, what I need to know in terms of dealing was because that's you now when you make it, you conduct a test and you are, for instance, that you are 35, you procrastinate a lot, or perhaps you are in the middle, in the 27, probably you need to procrastinate a little bit. 26, 16, 25, where you're in the middle, perhaps you are in a serious procrastination. This is something that is normal, but you need to take action, perhaps if it increases or not. Finally, if you are perfect, between 10 and 15, it's perfect. It's perfect. Well, but if you are more in the second, this line, or perhaps a little bit, or more than in the worst scenario, that's 33, 40, it's time to dealing with it. And the idea I suggest to draw this table. For me, it's perfect to start to have to put your task, what you start to need to take actions. Deadline, it would be very important. What is your deadline? I think so. There are more apps that can help you. But how long on list is the procrastination table? And because what is showing is important to show what are the consequences of not finishing it. So this is in terms of procrastinator table. For aspect characteristics that you need to cope with procrastination. So first, it's time to include your tasks, include your deadline, include how long in list this activity, and what for you is the consequence of not finishing. This is very the consequence of not finishing, but sometimes depends on where you work. Something is about yourself, that's you, but something is about your job, your boss, that which is the consequence, those causes and consequences. I had a meeting and perhaps I'm saying, and this consequence enables my boss that change the mood. Change mood in very pacific person, very smart person to a very aggressive person because they don't get on consequence. No? Or an argument will come because of no consequence of no finishings, or perhaps the deterioration, so bad relationship with clients, or whatever it is. So here said, but ask yourself, what is the consequence of not getting the job done? Well, real consequences which are reprimands, you might get bad reputations, reprimand, or reputations, or your career may suffer, or you miss a great opportunity, or your stress level might be very high. No? This is the consequence of not getting the job done. Remember that's different consequences. Here, I show you an example. This is my procrastination table. That's my task. I send you those activities that as a professor, I need to carry out. I need to upload on the UA Cloud some marks. UA Cloud is an app that's very normal. It's very common in the university. This is what the professors use, is the UA Cloud. I need to tend to upload this information between our platform. Or making calls in terms of a new project. I need to contact with someone that need to making calls or work. So deadline is 15 of March. How long list says 6 days. No, I didn't take these actions. For instance, we are on the 20th of March and or 21st of March, and I didn't take this. I didn't take this action. What if the students might complain because the people might feel very nervous, get nervous, or the students got nervous because they can't see the marks or they can't see the exams and the grades of exams or wherever the students might complain. Making calls in terms of a new project, they're the same. There are 15 a month, there are 6 days on list. Well, as a competitor, are able to do it, and I might lose a prospect client. If I don't do it, I will show face two problems, two different problems. Go competitor are able might can contact with this client, for instance, a new problem, and I can lose this project, because competition talk to the knock on the door of my client, for instance, of a client, so they can change their mind and they say, well, Antonio would be good in the past, but nowadays, at the moment, they don't focus on their tasks, they don't visit me, or they don't call to me, and a competitor are every time competitor are talking to me every day. So why not to have a chance to this competitor, Stefan Antonio? So this is the consequence of not finishing my tasks. That someone can call you, but you satisfy your clients in any one your project. Your client are satisfied, or they think that the work that you are trying is quite good in terms of what they observe. So the client will be satisfied even though someone comes. So they close the door to other competitors. Well, that's it. That's table. This is related with the final exercise of the topic of the exercise 2, the second part 2, the topic of the exercise 2, second part of the exercise 2 of the session for today. And if you see the exercises in the exercises 1, first the module for us is procrastination test, but okay, and you realize that you have a great ratio of procrastination. I see you this ratio. Then I show you this activity. Well, but before planning to take actions, let me explain it something very important in terms of this second part. So, handling by procrastination. First of all, task, deadline, how long list, and consequence on officials. So this is something. Then we will start by explaining. Now to look over your tasks and consequences. Well, this is what I wrote the consequences, the task, consequences are the same. Planning to take. This is the topic, here it is, the topic that I need in terms of the second exercises. Here they say, list 3 high-value tasks or projects you will start working immediately, relate to a smart work, set a rational deadline for it, and then in the activities column, break your task or project into smart bytes chunks. So, byte pieces. So list 3 how they're planning to take actions. We focus on 3 high-value tasks or projects you will start working on immediately. So set a rational deadline for it. This is a rational. Remember that we talk about the consequences. This first part of the exercises, this is procrastination table, is to know it, that to be aware that I'm procrastinating myself. For instance, you procrastinate or not. In real, well, perhaps you can carry out the test, but procrastination table shows you are procrastinating your task or not. Procrastination your task, you know it because the how long the lists are very high, they show you days that you didn't complete your task, and then there are consequences, very clear consequences of not finishing. Okay. When you realize that there are consequences and they are the tasks are on the list, well, it's time to take action. Take actions about what? Well, first of all, you need to projects show which activities you need to carry out in future in a short period of time. No? 3 high value tasks or projects. Then I need to put a deadline. This is my deadline. I need to do the same. I need to allow somewhere on the cloud the 15 And then what is the activities required? Well, activities required is like to cut it in very pieces. To cut the project in very small pieces. This is something the problem with it is because the procrastinations overwhelm, or tend to overwhelm, feel overwhelming. And you need to task it in different data. So it's better when you have a goal to task it, to cut it in different small pieces. And this is what I do it here in this example. So I need to allow the assignments. I will mark 5 exams per day starting today. So my activities is only to correct 5 exams per day starting today. And on the 14, students will be informed about it. So before the 14, I need to make a short report informing about the grades has been allotted in the UA cloud, for example. No? So the activities is for, I will mark 5 exams per day starting today. This is the normal. But today is 2nd of March. So I will start by correcting 5 exams per day starting today. What is the priorities plans? Well, I will mark 5 exams per day starting today will be the first, and the second is will be or before the deadline. Students will be informed about it. So this is what I tell you about the planning tutorial. So list 3 high values, set the deadline to it, and then activities required in terms cutting in very small pieces, and then put these activities into priorities list. This list allowed us in order, let you know to what order to complete the activities at the same time maintaining the focus goal. And as I said before, this is the second part of the exercise 2 in terms of procrastination table. So be finished. It's called planning to take action. It's not to require here in this exercises to put how you feel procrastinations because you did a test. You carry out this test and you know exactly what you are procrastinations or not. And the second topic, the second part of it is planning to take action. And planning to take action is very simple. It's very simple about that you need, as I said before, list 3 high value tasks, set a rational deadline for each, cut in very small pieces, and put these activities in priorities list. So this is what you have to do. First, including your tasks. First, including your deadline of a task. First, then you need to include the activities required. So which is cut this activity in very small pieces, small parts, in order to get the global goal. Okay, this is activity required. If, for instance, if I need to, one of my tasks is to get a client for example, to contact her, I need to define it in very small pieces. And one of the small pieces will be, well, making at least 10 calls per day. No? 10 per day. So having 5 meetings in a month, no? And then I will get the task project that is get a prospect in terms of customer. And finally, to prioritize with these activities as in the first and once it's in the bottom, where perhaps we can start by making surface the web, trying to get the address of different clients, then to contact by phone or by email, better by phone or by rent, or knock on the door could be better, and then establish the relationship with it, have a meeting with it, try to have 10 meetings with the clients, and then then by doing so, we can have this task. No? The task, remember, is to get a client, no? Because to achieve a client. Then the same priority. So this is the activity about the second part of this this exercise. Here make explanations about what we talk about, how to do that. And so on. But at the end is my explanations. You focus on this. This is the final explanation. So, well, apart from that, to finish, so I think it's clear the two exercises. For ending up the last part of today. So let me start by explaining this last part. And well, this is what I just explained. The final output is setting priority tasks or so. Apart from in order to tackle, don't try to not to lose what you are looking at, planning take actions, and incorporate a reward system as well is good for you. Sometimes it's incorporate a reward system. So reward system is something that motivates you. Sometimes when you finish a task, you need to motivate yourself by incorporating a reward system, something about whatever it is, something that motivated you. Maybe it's a cup of tea, maybe it's a cup of coffee, maybe it's to TV for a walk or something that you can motivate yourself. So reward in terms of achieving, every time to achieve a thing, very difficult thing, it's time to have a reward. No? If I'm looking at have a good client, because it's time to go out, I don't say to have a coffee in a bar or whatever, for instance, or something that they can reward yourself. It's important to show how you feel more motivated in terms of reward. Depends on the person. Some people prefer a reward, more materialistic reward. Others prefer others. So, what is your reward for you? No, going for a walk. Maybe it's a reward for someone, or having a cup of coffee, or whatever it is. Yes, in contracting. And contracting, I swear, if I on this day too, and I want to do this, I will reward myself with what is the present. Coffee, something, stay wherever it is, to sign and you date. Perhaps a witness is required. So this is a contracting in terms of being motivated to receive a reward. Sometimes I have a theory where this is a memory about a manager. No, she lives alone. She lives alone, but every time that go for a, it's curious. No, they told me a story. Every time that they like to buy things, no, and also in Christmas, but they live alone, no, with no wants and whatever. But the consequences that she got divorces, whatever. But she told me that every time she went to the shop. Every time they say she said to the personal attendants, they say, I need to cover put a packet, beautiful packet, because it's for a gift. It's for a gift of someone. So it's about the kid, or it's a Christmas, it's about Christmas, you know the name. No. I need to package it with a beautiful paper, beautiful package, because it's for a present. It's for a present. Even though it's for her, they demand to the personal shopper that the person, the thing that she bought, needed to be packaged with a beautiful, fantastic, exciting colors, and then when she went back to home, They put the present on the sofa, and she said something. Oh my God, this fantastic present. I like this present, beautiful present for her. And she opened it by thinking that it was a present for her. It's curious, but they say that it stimulated the way that they receive a reward. The reward for him is every time she buys something, they say, no, it's for a present for. I need to. It's a present. It's a present. It's a present. So it's not something ordinary. No? Sometimes there are the people that go to a shop and say, "Well, this is for a person." No, it's for me. It's not mandatory to put some beautiful packet by saying, "Well, it's not the idea. I'm not going to impress someone." No? But you need to take caution that you need to impress yourself. No? So this is very important to have reward by yourself. What is your rewards? Say to that. So the same action one, reward one, action two. If I do it, this is my reward. My reward did be something that, being a example, something very perhaps is something materialistic, it's not very expensive. But well, I saw this swimming Google because I like swimming, and see if I do it that tomorrow today, I do it that, try to contact with the clients. Well, I will buy it. I will buy it. So this is your reward. Reward that will buy a pair of swimming goggles, for instance. No, or I pay this or whatever it is. Very something that is very reward. Show you reward for you. Action task, action two, action three. Well, today we will finish this topic, this final session for today, about talking about other tips for dealing with procrastination. This is the last topic, the last part of the topic of this workshop that is called Generating Ideas and Decision Making. Let's start by explaining other tips in terms of procrastinators. Sometimes fighting procrastinators is very difficult to fight. It's not easy because you feel you have a very negative, we might say, gene. Perhaps it's the perfectionist is in your genes. So sometimes they say, according to the researchers say the perfectionist is something this or something that you studied when you were a kid. This is something that is related to your father, your mother, that told you that you need to perfection. You need to be perfection. You don't feel perfect. You are not perfection. People don't care you. No, it's something like that. This is how the procrastination works. When you feel that you need to be perfection for everybody, so you feel you get on the panic and the panic. And this is it's like a machine time. Machine time when you were a kid. When you were a kid, and your mother says, "You don't need to do that. You will never get. You will never get. You will never get. You will be ever worse as whatever it is." This is looking for perfection. No? So this is something is very related, perhaps genes as well is it, but another part of guilty, to take guilty, a very important cause is the education of father. This is very important. Education of the father of the parents. Lower your expectations, like your kryptonite. Lower your expectations. Striving for perfection is impossible to strive. In order to be very perfectionist, to try to be a perfectionist, type to good enough is enough. Don't try to focus on perfectionism. Perfectionism is not what you like to look for. But they say, well, good enough is enough. I do well. I work well. I work my work. What else? What else? Important, we repeat it in the past. We repeated. You need to to keep your task small. This is in order to get it better, to carry out with other activities. So it's better to keep your task small, making the work in the last minute to focus on this. So in order to big issues are not good, so it's better to cut it in different small tasks. It is what I said before, bit-sized tasks are a bit easier to digest, to carry out. You make feel more comfortable instead of make you a little uncomfortable, okay? And then dealing with fear is another tip, final tip, fears, fear, try to live with the stress. This is what you need to learn. You need to learn that fears, sometimes you need to live with fear. It's not possible to not to live without fear. Fear is in our atmosphere. It's every time when you need to live with it. It's something in the atmosphere as the same comparison at the air that we breathe. So fear, sometimes you need to live with it. Well, fears ruins and stops after achieving great things like this, because when you feel fear, you start to not to start. And the procrastinator code is going to be, I must be perfect. I try to summarize this in some 1, 2, 3, but for me, the most important must be perfect. Perfect. Sometimes it's good to everything that need to be without effort. This is an effort. You need to go outside the comfort zone, and sometimes involve difficulties, stay to difficulties. It's safer not to do nothing than to take a risk and fail. So this is more when you say that you take a risk and you fail. For instance, your self-esteem is damaged. This is the typical code of procrastinator. Because you are avoiding doing things, you feel your self-esteem is damaged. No, nothing more like more farther from the reality. No, with myself, nothing far from more farther can be more farther from the reality. As I said, someone with the hearts in me, even though these people are very as well when they succeed. Somewhere it's like they don't want to succeed as well. No, when they succeed, they feel embarrassing as well. So this is the two theories about they don't want to complain. They want to be they don't like compliments. Don't like compliments as well. We have put my real self. People won't like me, so I need to show my real life. People will. Is the same. Nothing can be far from the truth in terms of you need to be yourself. And this is people like you or people don't like you. So this is you can satisfy all the people or everybody. It's impossible to satisfy everybody. Well, this is good questions in terms of the procrastinator code. Very characteristics, hardworking. If you look at this, hardworking, competent. It's not a lazy person. It's very high achieving, hardworking. However, they feel fear of being judged. This is very, very important. They fearful of being judged and falling short of expectation. This is very, very typical of procrastinator. Feeling of guilty, feeling of incompetence, feeling of inferiority, critical of self and others, focus on the future, seeks a lot of advice from others, and hesitate making decisions. Well, there are some of the characteristics of these guys. No? As always, on the rational beliefs, as my words as a person is determining my ability and achievement. It's like the person is like achievement. No, this is called your personality is something and your professional activity is other thing. You need to distinguish what is professional activity and what is you as a person. You are a person, this is your name, this is the way you are, and the other thing is professional. You approved by others, be in control with others. I can't risk, must maintain a risk, must unrealistic goals and expectations. Sometimes I don't satisfy say I'm good if I need to be CEO of the company, no? This is like something that you reach unrealistic goals for expectation. For being CEO, you need to work a lot of the day for that, but no one can hire you. You decided to be a CEO of the company. They dare to accept themselves as far as and therefore they succeed. This is important to live with failure. It's very important. It's to something is good habit of failing. Successful people have a good habit of failing. You have to learn to accept yourself as a failure. This is saying to say that, well, in this era, for instance, failure is very normal. When you get feedback, you need to get feedback, you need to fail. Because if you didn't fail, you couldn't have feedback. So this is something very important to take up. And finally, well, this is something that we state very, very simple, stick to a schedule. That people start to stick to a schedule, but you need to stick to schedule, calendar, apps, journal, stick notes on your computer or wherever you did to small meetings in projects to work to create some sort of schedule for yourself. So very, very, very important. So there are the tips that you need to take in account. So this is my final presentation. This is our final session for today. Keep in mind the two exercises that I've loaded in the virtual campus for doing that. First is the exercises of this decision. Perhaps you need to know it, to know the routine. And the other exercise about the test and take the priorities plans. So I expect I satisfy your needs in terms of generating ideas and making decisions. And these workshops, these sessions might get advantage in you in order to in future you can make more decisions, and you can feel you make decision for improving in your professional career for students. And then I appreciated the fourth Tamer that has joined with me in this session. I appreciate a lot because Tamer is here. Without Tamer, would it be impossible to carry out your records, to upload it to the records? So the work that he tends to do every time is magnificent. So I appreciate a lot that. I want to thank you, Tamer, for your activity, because if your help, it wouldn't be possible to carry out the workshops for students. And I don't know if the coordinator of the Cloud Career project wanted to say something.
Actually, I would like to thank you very much, Professor Antonio, for this interesting workshop or course. I learned a lot from this course. And especially today, actually, I can see that I did a lot of mistakes in to make decision and how to organize myself to make the right decision. And I think I learned a lot today from you. And really, I would like to encourage all the students to go through the course, try to answer the questions, and send the answer to you in order to get the certificate of the course.
Yes, and that's all. Is what remember that my email it is in the email. That's the timer said a dot ANTON slash AUR dot ES. Well, that's all. Tamer, I think so. This afternoon or tomorrow will be uploaded the material. I give you time. For instance, perhaps on Thursday we are Thursday, Friday, well weekends, where perhaps on will be in order to take a time deadline. Well, do you have time until Monday? I think it's something more or less so or perhaps on Thursday, Tamer, I think 2 days.
Yeah. I think they will have like the weekend in order to go through the different videos and send you the homework. So maybe we can give some time until Thursday or so next week.
Yeah.
Something like this would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want it, I think so that the timeline will be until the next week, perhaps in Wednesday or Thursday next week, 3 or 4 days to send the proper exercises for the people that didn't attend for any circumstances, but they can time until perhaps on the next Thursday, perhaps as to the next week, the middle of the next week, to have 3 or 4 days for carrying these activities and time to send these activities through email.
Yes, and today I need just 1 hour more or so, and I will upload the video and the exercises for today. And I will send email to all the students to inform them that the course is finished, thank them, and inform them that the material is already online.
Well, fantastic.
Super.
That sounds pretty good. Thank you very much for everybody. Thank you very much, Tamer, for your effort, and see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.